If you crave a high-end look for your home, then you will love these ordinary to extraordinary decor ideas using affordable thrift shop finds. Hey there, my name is Sandra. Welcome back to the Schwowin's Nest. Don't pass up these wooden signs from thrift shops. They are usually quite cheap and they can be used for all sorts of decor ideas. I'm going to turn this into a beautiful tray with a vintage accent that will look gorgeous in any style of home. Adding these 1-inch half round beads as feet is one of the ways I'll make this into a high end piece rather than just having it sit on its bottom. Another way to give an ordinary item an extraordinary look is to use a paint finish that uses more than one color. That adds texture and makes it feel unique rather than everyday. I'll start with Dixie Belle Silk Mineral Paint, which has paint, primer, and top coat all in one. Since the color of the sign is black, I'll definitely need 2 coats for complete coverage. This color is called Saltwater. To give this tray a wood look finish, I'm using Voodoo Gel Stain by Dixie Belle in the color Fireside Ash. With a small chip brush, it's easy to spread the stain using long strokes to mimic wood grain. I love that this gel stain comes in a squeeze bottle. It's so easy to use. If you wanted to get a weathered wood grain look, you could also add additional stain colors on top of this, perhaps a darker brown or even gray. This color reminded me of the Pottery Barn colors for their furniture lines, a wood grain look with light shades. I found these small chip brushes at a local dollar store years ago, but I do have a similar type listed in my Amazon store in multiple sizes, including a 1-inch like this one. Adding details to your DIY projects helps them stand out and become unique, one-of-a-kind decor pieces that you can proudly display in your home. I have a stash of different drawer pulls and handles, so I'm drilling a hole into one side of the tray so I can add it on. This handle is just the right color and accents the tray so well, like they were made for each other. And the Gilding Wax in bronze matches the handle too, so I'm going to add it to the feet, around the top edges of the tray, and a bit on each corner. This is also from Dixie Belle, and if you're interested in checking out their products, I have a link for Canada and the US down in my description box. When I use the gilding wax, I tend to start out on the lighter side because it's easier to add more than take it away. To apply it, you can use a paper towel like I have here, or a soft cloth, and even a small paintbrush. It's so exciting when your DIY vision comes to life just like you expected. Believe it or not, it doesn't happen that often. These 2 red canisters are metal and very shiny, so using a primer like Fusion Ultra Grip will allow the paint to stick much better. You can also use a spray sealer like Rust-Oleum in a matte clear finish, or any other type of primer or sealer. I don't tend to use Mod Podge on metal or glass anymore because it tends to make the paint peel and crack after some time. Since Mod Podge is really a glue and a sealer, not really a primer. But let me know down in the comments if you've had good luck with using Mod Podge as a primer, and maybe I'm doing something wrong. So any tips you could share with me, I would love to hear them. I let them dry for a few hours. Now I'm applying my favorite mushroom paint that could be considered a taupe or a grayish color, sort of a cross between a beige and a gray. It's also an awesome color for making pieces have that crockery look. They'll need 2 coats to completely cover the red. I also did the lids, but you'll see later that I changed them to a contrasting color. I just wasn't happy with everything being the same color. I've had this pointed sash Stylmeester brush for 3 years, and it still looks and works like it's brand new. I love how easy they are to clean, too. To dress up these canisters and make them look like real vintage crocks, I've got the IOD crockery stamps that I purchased from an antique mall years ago. Using black ink from a dollar store, I like to test the stamp first on regular paper to make sure there's enough ink to show all the details. Then I'm going to stamp on tissue paper and let it dry overnight before I add them to the canisters. I chose two stamps that had a similar size and shape so the canisters would look like they belonged together. I know the IOD line is quite expensive, so I have put together a set of 20 crockery prints that you can use for this type of project up on my Etsy shop. I'll leave the link in the description box. I'm going to use Mod Podge to glue the labels on. First, I added a line down the center and applied the paper, then worked my way out to the sides. I find that this helps to ensure you get minimal wrinkles and bubbles in the paper. Since these stamps are not sealed, I'm going to wait until the canisters are completely finished and then spray them with a clear sealer rather than taking a chance that the ink will smear with the Mod Podge if I use a brush to go over them. Here's when I decided to change the color of the lids. In hindsight, it would have been better to spray paint these black instead of using a brush, but they turned out okay anyway. Spray paint would have been much faster and would have prevented any texture to show up on the lids. This way, because I had 4 coats of paint on the lids, they did look a little chunky in some areas. So not my best work, but I'll know for next time. I have to apologize for the weird camera angles throughout this project. I didn't realize that I had moved the camera and so was out of frame a lot. It proves that I'm a crafter and not a cameraman. To make the metal rims blend in, I used an oil-based paint pen that really made a difference in how they looked overall. It's these small details that make your thrift shop DIYs look more expensive. I did the same thing to the lids, and as I said earlier, once they dried, I put a spray sealer on them, and this is how they turned out. Sometimes thrift shop makeovers are really easy. Not everything has to get painted or completely changed. Sometimes it's as easy as gluing a wood stick into a boxwood ball and putting it into a glossy white ceramic bowl. Anything white and shiny makes my heart happy, so when I saw this piece for only $2.79, it went straight into the cart. The boxwood ball I got a while back for $6. There were 4 in the bag, which is also a great deal. Trimmed down a styrofoam circle to fit the bowl, then added some hot glue to hold it in place. Then I poked a couple of slits into the middle of the styrofoam so the stick would go into it easier. Spanish moss came next, but you could add anything you wanted into the bottom. I think reindeer moss would look beautiful too. Once I pushed the stick into the styrofoam, I added some hot glue and then a couple of wire picks for additional support. I also used these simple pieces of wire bent into a U shape to hold the moss in place. Finished off with a simple shoestring bow and a soft burlap type ribbon, this boxwood topiary is perfect for a table, shelf, or counter. Studio pottery pieces are always something I keep an eye out for at thrift shops. This one was so cute with the handle on it, I couldn't resist. The colors of it are so pretty. The earthy brown with a bit of blue splashed on blend together so well. It was only $1.79. This is another project that takes no time at all. A pool noodle, some moss, some greenery, and it turns into a sweet tray or shelf accent piece. I just love it. I got this piece of greenery at the dollar store and it looks so pretty with that dusty sort of lamb's ear look. It goes really well with the colors of this pot. I cut the stems down and used hot glue to make my own mini-sized picks, and I think it fits really well into this little basket. Let me know what you think. I have this wood round that I painted a couple of years ago and it never sold, so I decided to make it over again. The edges are really rough, so instead of using spackle to smooth them out, I thought I would try air dry clay. This big bucket is from Amazon. It's Crayola brand and it's really nice to work with. I'm making long pieces to wrap around the wood using Weld Bond glue to adhere them for a permanent hold. Using a brayer helps to smooth the clay and make it flat so it's easier to mold onto the wood. I was inspired by some of the ceramic trays that are on high-end sites like Pottery Barn and Crate and Barrel that have sort of scalloped or decorative edges to them. Using my fingers, I molded the clay onto the wood, making sure to smooth it out so there wouldn't be any seams showing. It took some time, but I think it was worth the effort. Once I had all the clay put on, I used the end of my paintbrush to create dimples. It reminded me of making pie crust and was so easy to do. You could make other designs on the clay too. Let me know if you would have tried something different on the edges of this board. I used the brayer again to help smooth the clay, and if there was any excess, I used a knife to take it off. This was a really fun project, and since I have this huge bucket of clay, I think I'm going to try other ways to embellish thrift shop finds too. I also just found my stash of silicone molds that have so many different shapes and sizes and designs, and I think that would look really beautiful on different projects too. Let me know if there are any clay projects or ideas that you have that you'd like me to try out. I love hearing all of your ideas. They're awesome. I let the clay dry overnight and it did crack in a few areas, but I wasn't too worried about it. It's going to get 2 coats of Dixie Belle chalk mineral paint in the color Dropcloth, which is a soft, creamy off-white. To make the board look vintage and antique, I'll use a paper towel to wipe on some brown wax from Behr, which is a Home Depot brand. When I do the sides, I'm not going to be too careful, as I would like for the indentations that I made to stay the drop cloth color. That will give it more of a rustic vibe. Wood candlesticks always make it into my cart when I'm thrift shopping. They are a classic and traditional decor piece that can pretty much go with anything. I love the shape of this one, but the color was just a bit too gold. So I'm using salmon water-based stain in dark walnut. I'm going to brush it on and then use the brush to stipple it so it dries with a neat design and looks a little bit textured. This will allow some of the original color to shine through. I have used this water-based stain quite often, and I really like the way you can water it down to dilute the color. and it washes off brushes super easy too. I have this color in the dark walnut, and then I also have a color called Urban Gray, which I haven't used very often lately, but it is a beautiful shade as well. I believe I have some of these listed in my Amazon store, but I know I've been able to find them at Home Depot, and that's where I got most of mine. They have about 10 to 12 different shades. So if you're interested in an easy to use, non toxic, and no odor stain, then this is the one for you. My original idea was to make a tall cake or serving stand by gluing or screwing these two together. But when I looked at them as a pair, I thought it might be too tall. I may consider adding some smaller spindle feet to the board to make it a riser. What do you guys think? I hope you enjoyed these ordinary to extraordinary thrift shop DIYs and got some inspiration to try your hand at making some affordable high-end decor pieces for your home. Thanks so much for spending some of your time with me today. If you haven't already, I'd love it if you could hit that subscribe button and the like button. It helps me get noticed more on YouTube. If you like this video, here's a couple more that might interest you as well. Bye for now.